The crystalline scales along Luna's spine shimmered violet as her ship descended through the atmosphere of New Terra, the 12th human colony on her list. 5 years, 5 long years of searching, and still, her mother remained a ghost among the stars. Luna was Drakari, a species known throughout the galaxy for their longevity and warrior prowess. Her kind lived for millennia, their scales hardening with age like ancient armor. But humans? Humans were mayflies, brilliant, passionate, and gone in the blink of a cosmic eye. Everyone had told her it was impossible. Her mother would be dust by now, they said. 70 human years had passed since that day on the research station, yet Luna remembered her mother's words. Some humans are different, little star. Some of us don't follow the rules. The colony's spaceport was a bustling hub of activity. Luna folded her wings tight against her back and pulled her hood low, though her 7-foot frame still drew stares. She had learned to ignore them. The database terminal flickered to life under her clawed fingers as she began her familiar routine, searching medical records, immigration logs, anything that might contain a trace of Dr. Sarah Chen. "You look lost." The voice came from behind her, casual and warm. Luna turned to find a human male leaning against a support pillar, his arms crossed. He wore the practical clothing of a colony engineer, and his dark hair was streaked with premature gray. But it was his eyes that caught her attention. They held the depth of someone who had seen more than his years suggested. "I'm searching for someone," Luna replied, her translator chip rendering her throaty Drakari speech into perfect standard. "Aren't we all?" The man stepped closer, extending his hand. "Edward Chen." Luna's triple-lidded eyes widened. "Chen, I take it you're looking for my mother." Edward's smile was sad and knowing. "You're not the first Drakari who's come looking, though you've searched the longest. Most give up after a year or two. Where is she?" Luna's voice cracked with an emotion she hadn't allowed herself to feel in years. "Hope." Edward gestured toward a transport platform. "I'll take you to her. But first you need to understand something about humans. We're stubborn. And when we love someone, we don't let little things like biological limitations stop us." During the ride to the research facility on the colony's edge, Edward told her the story. Dr. Sarah Chen had been a xenobiologist studying Drakari physiology when she'd found Luna as a hatchling, abandoned after a raid destroyed her creche ship. For 5 years, Sarah had raised Luna, teaching her to navigate a universe that feared her kind. Then came the attack on the station. The chaos, the evacuation, the separation. "She spent the next decade searching for you," Edward said. "But Drakari hatchlings are moved through the foster systems constantly. By the time she found a lead, you'd been adopted by a military clan and taken off grid." "So she gave up?" Luna's tail lashed in agitation. "She never gave up. She just changed her approach." Edward's eyes gleamed with pride. "My mother is the foremost expert on human genetic modification. She spent 30 years developing a process, extending human lifespan, slowing our aging to a crawl. It was controversial, illegal in most systems, but she didn't care. She knew that one day you'd come looking for her. And when you did, she'd still be there. The facility was small, built into the side of a mountain. Inside, it was a maze of laboratories and living quarters. Edward led Luna through corridors lined with research notes and holographic displays showing complex genetic sequences. Finally, they reached a garden, a small biodome filled with plants from a dozen worlds, including the luminescent cave flowers of Drakkar Prime. And there, tending to a cluster of crimson blooms, was a woman who hadn't aged a day since Luna's memories. Dr. Sarah Chen turned, and her eyes, those warm, brown, impossibly human eyes, filled with tears.
"Luna," she whispered.
"My little star." Luna's carefully constructed composure shattered. She crossed the distance in 3 strides, her wings unfurling despite the confined space. Sarah embraced her, impossibly small against Luna's armored frame, yet somehow containing all the strength in the universe. "You found me," Luna said, her voice thick with emotion. "You changed yourself, risked everything just so you'd be here when I came looking." "You're my daughter," Sarah said simply, as if it explained everything. And perhaps it did. Edward watched from the doorway, smiling. He'd been born after Sarah's treatments, inheriting some of her modified longevity. He understood what the galaxy was only beginning to learn. Humans might be short-lived by cosmic standards, but their capacity for love was infinite. When a human chose you as family, They'd move stars to keep that bond. I have so much to tell you, Lana said, pulling back to look at her mother's face, the face she'd feared she'd never see again. We have time, Sarah replied, taking her daughter's clawed hand in her own. Thanks to human stubbornness, we have all the time in the world. Outside, the twin suns of New Terra set over the colony, painting the sky in shades of amber and gold. Lana had searched 12 colonies over 5 years, traveling thousands of light years following the faintest threads of hope. And she'd learned what others in the galaxy were slowly discovering. Never underestimate a human who loves someone. They'd rewrite their own biology, defy every natural law, and wait lifetimes if necessary, because that's what humans did. They were impossible, stubborn, and utterly remarkable. And they were family,